Hello students, welcome to Sitaram IAS online tutorial. So in this video we are going to cover Vision Test Series 13 and this test series mainly concentrates on the medieval India. So the first question is with reference to the Maratha administration, the terms Saranjam and Mokasa denote the land grants. Option B. With second question with reference to the Gramin Udyami project, consider the following. So Gramin Udyami project aims to train the tribal students in multiple skills and it is founded by National Skills Development Corporation and the project is being implemented in the 6 states. Those 6 states are Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat. Option A is the correct answer. Third question, white rot fungus Trametes maxima IIPLC 32 was recently seen in use in the context of bioremediation. So option A. Fourth question, consider the following statements regarding the Anglo-Portuguese Treaty of Whitehall 1661. So, King Charles II, as a part of dowry, received Bombay through this treaty when he married Princess Catherine de Braganza of Portugal, and it involved the Mutual Defense Pact against the Dutch English Dutch East India Company. Okay, so not French. So only first option A is correct answer. Fifth question, which of the following countries and their space agencies are currently part or members of the International Space Station? So there are 5 participating space agencies. They are NASA of United States, Roscosmos of Russia, JAXA of Japan, ESA of Europe and Canada. So these are the 5 participating states. So only option B. Sixth question, organization and associated members are given. So Bombay Presidency Association is associated with Badruddin Tyabji and Madras Mahajan Sabha is associated with B. Subramaniam Iyer and Bhagabhasha Prakasika Sabha is associated with the associates of Rajaram Mohan Roy. So those associates are K.R. Thakur, Kalinath Chowdhury, Dwarakanath Tagore. So only option A is the correct answer. Seventh question with reference to the system of devolution of power to local governments initiated during the British rule in India. Consider the following statement. So here, as per the system of divided heads, the income from excise duty, stamps, forests, etc. are distributed between the provincial and local governments, and the Rippon's Revolution of 1882 provided for the appointment of non-officials as the chairpersons of the local bodies. So option A is the correct answer. Option B is the correct answer. Eighth question, consider the following statements with reference to the early efforts to improve the conditions of the working class in British India. So here, Sorabji Shapurji Bengali introduced a bill in Bombay Legislative Council to limit the working hours for the labor, and Shashipada Banerjee brought out a monthly journal called Bharat Shramjeebi with the primary idea of educating the workers, and N.M. Lokhande published an Anglo-Marathi weekly called Dina Bandhu, that is friend of poor. So only option A is the correct answer. Next, ninth question, he was born in Wardha, Maharashtra in the late 19th century and was inspired by the Mexican Revolution in 1910. He was also inspired by the Hindu reformer Swami Dayananda and his Arya Samaj movement. He decided to go abroad for training in revolutionary methods and militaristic strategy and was one of the founding members of the Gadar party. So he was Pandurang Sadashiv Kankoje. So option C is the correct answer. 10th question with reference to the recently enacted Criminal Procedure Identification Act 2022. As per the act, it replaces the identification of Prisoners Act 1920, which allows police officers to collect certain identifiable information of convicts. And under this act, an arrested person cannot refuse to give data, citing violation of right to proper privacy, and the data once allowed will be retained in digital or electronic form for 75 years. So only option 1 and 3. Option B is the correct answer. 11th question. The Madras Native Association was set up during the 19th century in Madras as a branch of British Indian Association of Calcutta. So option B. 12th question. Books and author is given. So some economic aspects of British rule in India is written by G. Subramanya Iyer. The poverty problem in India is written by Prithvish Chandra Ray. Economic history of India was written by Romesh Chandra Dutt. So option A is only correct. 13th question. In the context of the development of education during British India, arrange the following education commissions or committees in chronological order. So 100 Education Commission was launched in 1882. Sadler University Commission was launched in 1917. And Hartog Committee was launched in 1929. So option A is the correct answer. 14th question. With reference to the Treaty of Amritsar 1809, consider the following. So as per the Treaty of Amritsar, it was signed between the Maharaja Ranjit Singh of Punjab and the British East India Company, and the treaty demarcated the river Sutlej as the boundary between the British and the state of Punjab, and the state of Punjab did not have any permanent British residents in his royal court of Punjab. So only option A is the correct answer. 15th question. Which of the following are included in UNESCO's intangible cultural heritage list? So Durga Puja, Sankirtana and Kumbh Mela only are included under GI tag list, whereas Garba dance is the dance form in Gujarat. Okay, it is not included. So option D. 16th question. Recently, a man-made wetland in Tirunelveli was designated as a Ramsar site. This is the largest reserve for breeding resident and migratory water birds in South India and an important bird and biodiversity area forming part of Central Asian Flyway. The painted stork is the major attraction in this sanctuary. So it is the Kutankulam wetland. Okay, so it is option A. Next is 17th question. Place and associated with renewable energy is given. So Puga Valley is associated with geothermal energy. Muppandal is associated with wind energy. Bhadla is associated with solar energy. So option D is the correct answer. 18th question. With reference to the leader of the Indian movement, consider the following. So he was chosen as the first secretary of Native Press Association formed in 1870. He became the member of Imperial Legislative Assembly in 1921. He cleared the Imperial Civil Services but was not allowed to work in the administration. So it is Surendranath Banerjee, option C. 19th question. With reference to the Coffee Board in India, consider the following. So Coffee Board is a statutory body formed under the Coffee Act of 1942, and it is attached under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and it controls the marketing of coffee in 70% of India and 30% abroad. So only option A is the correct answer. 20th question. Which one of the following statements is not correct regarding the Eka movement or Unity Peasant movement in 1920? So it was led by the low caste leaders who were inclined to accept the discipline of non-violence, and the main grievance of the movement was related to the extraction of high rent. The Eka meetings were marked by the religious ritual, and unlike the earlier Kisan Sabha movement, the Eka movement included many small zamindars for its many small zamindars. Okay, so option D here is the wrong one. 21st question. Consider the following statements regarding the Trades Dispute Act 1929. So the act provided for the system of tribunals and ban of strikes, and Bhagat Singh threw a bomb in the Central Legislative Assembly against the passage of this enactment. So both these statements are correct. Option C. 22nd question, which one of the following best describes about the stable coins often seen in use? So stable coins is a cryptocurrency whose value is pegged to price to another asset. Option B. 23rd question, with reference to the nature and spread of revolt of 1857, consider the following. So the territory Rohilkhand was affected by the revolt, and many other territories like Punjab, United Province, Oudh, area between Narmada and Chambal, western parts of Bengal and Bihar were also affected by the revolt. And the Bombay army remained loyal to the British East India Company during the 1857 revolt, and the ruler of Afghanistan, Dost Muhammad, supported the East India Company. So here option B is the answer. Next is 24th question. Arrange the following organization or bodies in the chronological order of their formation. So Ahmedabad Textile Labor Association was held in 1918. Workers and Peasants Parties was held in 1927. All India Trade Union Congress was held in 1920. Working Men Clubs was founded in 1870. So the order is option D. 25th question, with reference to the Ilbert Bill during the British colonial rule in India, which one of the following is correct? So Ilbert Bill is proposed to give Indian session judges the power to try European offenders in the small towns. Option C. 26th question, consider the following statements with respect to the Battle of Adyar. Battle of Adyar was held in 1746. So it was part of the first Carnatic War fought between British and French, and it led to the French occupations of St. George Fort of Madras. So option D is the answer. 27th question, with reference to the trading stations of factories established by various European powers, consider the following pairs. So location of factories and associated European power is given. So Srirampur is associated with Danish, Chinsura is associated with Dutch, Chandranagore is associated with French, Chittagong is associated with Portuguese. So all these statements are correct. Option D. 28th question, with reference to the Charter Act of 1793. So under the Charter Act of 1793, the sum of 1 lakh rupees was to be set up aside the promotions and encouragement of the literature, learning and science. And among the natives of India, the Act has abolished the Mal Adalats or revenue courts, and the Act provided the slavery in India as an illegal and considered as an offence. Slavery in India is illegal and is considered as an offence under the Charter Act of 1793. So option D is the answer. 29th question, with reference to the Indian history, the Balutedari system was. So it is an arrangement between the village artisans and the village community for services under the Maratha rule. 30th question, in the context of the Anglo-Mysore War rivalry, consider the following statement. So under this, the Treaty of Mangalore was signed between Tipu Sultan and the British after the Second Anglo-Mysore War, and Hyder Ali took the help of the French to set up the arms factory in Dindigul. And under the Treaty of Seringamapatnam, Nizam got the region surrounding the Krishna and its tributaries. So option B is only correct answer. And first Anglo-Mysore War took place under the first Anglo-Mysore War, Treaty of Madras took place, and under the second Anglo-Mysore War, Treaty of Mangalore took place, and in the third Anglo-Mysore War, Treaty of Seringamapatnam has took place. Now coming to the 31st question, which of the following statements is correct regarding the forever chemicals recently seen in use? So the forever chemicals are the man-made chemicals that remain in the environment for a long time. 32nd question, consider the following statements. So the English got trading privileges in the region by the Mughal Farman of 1630, apprehensive of a French-Russian joint land invasion of India. The British signed a treaty of eternal friendship in 1807 with this region to create a buffer, and by 1840 this region was brought under the English control by the use of force. So it is the region of Sindh. Option D. 33rd question, which of the following events took place during the region of Viceroy Lord Curzon? So Viceroy Lord Curzon was in between the period of 1899 to 1905. So during his period, enactment of Indian Universities Act took place and establishment of Indian Agricultural Research Institute took place. Here, Aravipuram movement is launched by Sri Narayana Guru. He installed an idol of Shiva at Aravipuram in Kerala in an effort to show that God's image was not a monopoly of Brahmins in the year 1888, not during the region of Lord Curzon. So only option D is the answer. 34th question, who among the following were the members of South Indian Liberal Federation? So it is only P. Tyagaraja Chetty and C. N. Mudalair. So option D. Next, 35th question is, arrange the following legislative measures to ameliorate the women's condition in India in chronological order. So Female Infanticide Prevention Act took place in 1870 and Native Marriage Act for controlling child marriages took place in 1872. Legislation of widow remarriage took place in 1856. So the order is option C, 312, and the abolition of sati took place in the year 1829. 36th question, with reference to the British Committees of Indian National Congress, consider the following. So it was established by in Britain by the Indian National Congress to raise awareness of Indian issues to the public in Britain, and William Wedderburn served as the first chairman of the committee, and the British committee published the journal India as an organ for the Congress views. So option C is the answer. 37th question, consider the following statements with respect to the recommendations of Wood's Dispatch of 1854. So Wood's Dispatch is also known as the Magna Carta of English education in India. So it did not follow the downward filtration theory that provided education only for the upper classes, and it advocated the imparting of secular education in Indian institution, and it did not recommended English Indian languages as it recommended English as well as the Indian languages as the medium of instruction at all levels, and it recommended for the establishment of the universities in presidency towns. So option B is the answer. 38th question, newspapers and leaders associated is given. So Mirat ul Akbar is written by Rajaram Mohan Roy. Amrit Bazar Patrika is written by Sisir Kumar Ghosh, and Qawmi Awas is written by Jawaharlal Nehru. So option C is the answer. 39th question, with reference to All India Kisan Sabha, consider the following. So All India Kisan Sabha was launched in the year 1936. So it was established in Lucknow with Sahajananda Saraswati as elected and was elected as a president, and N.G. Ranga was one of the member. Next is, it remained part of Congress and maintained relations with the provincial Congress committees, and it drafted the Kisan Manifesto, which influenced the agrarian program adopted by the Congress. So option C is the answer. 40th question, consider the following statements with reference to the Lingaraj temple. So Lingaraj temple was the largest temple in Bhubaneswar in Orissa. So it was built under the region of Lalatendu Keshari in 11th century in Odisha, and it is located on the bank. It is not located on the banks of Krishna because Krishna river doesn't flow through Orissa. So it signifies the syncretization of Shaivism as well as Vaishnavism sects. So option C is the answer. 41st question, in the context of the India's socio-religious reform history, Paramahamsa Mandali aimed at breaking caste rules. Okay, so Paramahamsa Mandali was founded in 1847 in Maharashtra. 42nd question, with reference to the doctrine of lapse. So the sanction of the British is not needed by the adopted son of to inherit the personal property of the chieftain, and the adopted son would not be entitled to same pension that his father has had been receiving, and it was widely used to acquire the territories for the British. So doctrine of lapse was widely followed by Dalhousie. So option D is the answer. 43rd question, consider the following statements regarding the indigenous aircraft carrier INS Vikrant. So it is powered by the four gas turbines to generate the maximum speed of 28 knots, and it has an overall indigenous content of 76%. So option A is the answer. 44th question, with reference to the capitalist class's role during the freedom struggle. During the Swadeshi movement, capitalists were opposed to boycott agitation. Capitalist class largely supported the civil disobedience movement of 1930. Capitalist class preferred a constitutional mode of struggle. And in 1928, the capitalists refused to support the government in introducing the Public Safety Bill. So option D is the answer. 45th question, with reference to the Trade Union Act of 1926. It recognized trade unions as the legal associations. It secured civil and criminal immunity for trade unions from persecution for legitimate activities. So N.M. Joshi was the then General Secretary of All India Trade Union Congress. So option C is the answer. 46th question, he led the Mahat Satyagraha to challenge the regressive customs of the caste Hindus. He also established the Bahishkrit Hitakarni Sabha in 1924 to highlight the difficulties and grievances of the Dalits before the government. Its motto was educate, agitate, and organize. So it is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Option B. 47th question, consider the following regarding INC. So Surat session of 1907 was presided over by Raj Bihari Ghosh, and George Yule was the first non-Indian president of the Indian National Congress. So option A is the correct answer. 48th question, which of the following statements are correct regarding the Deccan riots during 1870? So the outbreak of the Deccan riots mainly occurred in areas under the Rayatwari system of land revenue, and the Deccan riots were marked by the absence of the anti-colonial consciousness, and social boycott was used as a major instrument during the Deccan riots. So option C is the answer. 49th question, with reference to the Indian National Congress annual sessions, consider the following pairs. So Allahabad session of 1888, in this Allahabad session, Vande Mataram was sung for the first time in INC session by Rabindranath Tagore, and this Allahabad session was presided by George Yule. And next is in Calcutta session of 1886, it merged the Indian Association with the INC, and in Madras session of 1898, it was presided by Anand Mohan Bose. Okay, so next is Calcutta session 1906. So it was presided by Rahimtullah Sayani, and the resolution of Swaraj as a goal of INC was passed. So option A is only the correct answer. 50th question, what was the objective behind the introduction of the statutory civil services in 1870s? So to nominate Indians to the positions hitherto reserved for the European convened civil servants is the main objective. 51st question, which of the following statements best describes the newly identified gene CSA6 recently in news? So it can prevent a fatal fungal infection in certain immunocompromised human beings. So option A. 52nd question, with reference to the British India, the Punjab Land Alienation Act 1900 was passed to prevent peasant rebellions in the Punjab region. 53rd question, who among the following opposed the partition of Bengal and actively participated in the Swadeshi movement of 1905? It is Abdur Rasul and Liaquat Hussain. Option B. 54th question, consider the following statements regarding the National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority. So it is attached to the Office of Department of Pharmaceuticals under the Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. Its mandate is to implement and enforce the provisions of The Drugs Prices Control Order 2013. So option B is the answer. 55th question. The first railway line in British India was laid from Bombay to Thane in 1853. The railway in India were built using British capital with the promise of guaranteed minimum return of 5% on their paid up capital. So both these statements are correct. So option C. 56th question. Which of the following statements are correct regarding the Pitt's India Act of 1784? So the Board of Control was established. The orders of the Board of Control became binding on the Court of Directors, and the number of members in the Governor General's Council was reduced. So option D. 57th question. The revolt of the Jungle Mahal is the description of which of the following events? It is a description of Chuar uprising of 1771. Option B. 58th question. With reference to the changes introduced into the tribal economy by the British administration in India, which of the following reasons compelled tribals to rise against the British rulers? So the Forest Act of 1865 extended British colonialism's claim over the forest in India, and the British administration introduced a system of forced labor, the bigger force, in tribal areas. So because of both these reasons, compelled tribals to rise against the British rulers. So option B is the answer. 59th question. With reference to the full court meetings recently seen in news. So full court meeting is a meeting called by the Chief Justice of India, which is attended by all the judges of the courts, and it is called only to discuss upon the importance of judiciary. So option C is the answer. 60th question. Consider the following statements regarding the Sannyasi rebellion. So the immediate cause of the revolt was the restrictions imposed by the British upon pilgrims visiting holy places. Anandamath, a novel of Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyaya, is based on this rebellion. Lord Warren Hastings was the Governor General of Bengal during this rebellion. So option D is the answer. 61st question. Which of the following statements is not correct regarding the foreign policy of British India? So Lord Auckland advocated for the forward policy while dealing with Afghanistan, and John Lawrence started a policy of masterly inactivity as a reaction to the disasters of the first Afghan war, and Lord Lytton followed the foreign policy of proud reserve aimed at safeguarding the spheres of influence. Lord Curzon followed the realistic and common sense policy towards the tribesmen of the northwest frontier. So option C is the answer. 62nd question. In the context of the East India Company's conquest of India, arrange the following events in chronological order. So establishment of the factory at Surat took place in 1612. Grant of Golden Farman to company by Sultan of Golconda took place in 1632. Arrival of Sir Thomas Roe, the ambassador of King James I, at Jahangir's court took place in the year 1619. So the order is 1, 3 and 2, option B. 63rd question. The Fowler Commission was appointed by the British government to reform the currency system in India. Option A. 64th question. Which of the following rights was recently declared as a human right by the United Nations General Assembly? So it is the right to clean, healthy and sustainable environment. Option B. 65th question. Which one of the following governors of India is known as the liberator of Indian press? So it is Lord Charles Metcalfe. So option D. 66th question. The term moonlighting recently seen in news refers to a second job taken outside one's working hours as a secondary source of income. Option A. 67th question. Consider the following events: abolition of the provincial courts of appeal, introduction of English as the official language, annexation of Mysore and Coorg by the British. These all are associated with the Viceroy of Lord William, with the Governor General of Lord William Bentinck. 68th question. In the context of the colonial history of Bengal and Bihar, the term Chatuspati or Tol is referred to the higher education centers. 69th question, consider the following statements regarding the Kuch Brand Canal. So it stretches from the Sardar Sarovar Narmada Dam to Mot Kuba in Gujarat, and it derives its water from the Narmada River. So option A only is the answer. 70th question, Governor General or Viceroy, and reforms are given. So the Earl Amerhest. So first pair is wrong. Next is Lord William Bentinck is associated with the abolition of sati in 1829, and Lord Ripon is associated with the introduction of the local self-government in 1882. Lord Hardinge one is associated with the prohibition of the human sacrifice during 1844 to 48. So option C is the answer. 71st question, in the context of the proposal of introducing the Rayatwari system in the south and southwestern India, what were the reasons behind implementing the Rayatwari system over the Zamindari system in these areas? So, in these areas, there was no zamindars present with large estate with whom land settlement could be made, and under the permanent settlement, the company was the ultimate financial loser as it had to share revenue with zamindars, and it was a continuation of the state of affairs related to land revenue that had existed in the past for these areas. So, option D is the answer. 72nd question, consider the following statements with regard to the coalition of disaster resilient infrastructure. So it was launched at the UN Climate Action Summit in 2019 at the initiative of Prime Minister of India. Recently, the European Investment Bank has joined the CDRI and its headquarters is in New Delhi. So option D is the answer. 73rd question, women organization and associated person is given. So Indian Women's Association is associated with Annie Besant. Bharat Stree Mandal is associated with Sarala Devi Chowdharani, and Arya Mahila Samaj is associated with the Ramabai Saraswati. So only two pairs are correct. Option B. 74th question, he started the movement in support of Widow Remarriage Act, which resulted in the legalization of widow remarriage. He was also the crusader against the child marriage and polygamy. He was associated as a secretary with Hindu female school, which later came to be known as Bethune Female School. So it is Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, option A. 75th question, the term Arctic amplification sometimes in use refers to. It refers to the heating of the Arctic region at much faster rate than the rest of the planet. Option A. Organization and founded by are given. So Satya Shojak Samaj is founded by Jyotiba Phule. All India Anti-Untouchability League was founded by M.K. Gandhi, and All India Scheduled Caste Federation is associated with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So only option A is the correct answer. 77th question, consider the following statements with regard to the Chess Olympiad. So Chess Olympiad is a biennial chess tournament in which nations of the world compete, and in the tournament there is no limiting thing that each participating nation should be represented only by one player. There is no limit like that. It can be one or more players. So option A is the answer. 78th question, with reference to the Dadabhai Naoroji, consider the following statements. He pledged loyalty to the British Crown and desired the continuation of British rule in India, and he was the first Indian to be elected as a UK House of Commons. So option C is the answer. 79th question, with reference to the British India, consider the following statements regarding the Factory Act of 1881 and 1891. So the Factory Act of 1891 regulated the working hours for women, not for men, only for women. Next is the early nationalists and moderates did not support the Factory Acts. So option D is the answer. Both are correct. 80th question, consider the statements regarding the Aravipuram movement. So the movement was the reaction against the Brahmanic supremacy and the caste system, and it was started by Sri Narayana Guru. So option A is the answer. 81st question, with reference to the revolt of polygars 1799 to 1805. The revolt took place in the region of the present-day Tamil Nadu, and the Nawab of Arcot joined British in their revolt against the Polygars. So option A is the answer. 82nd question. Treaty of Sagauli 1816 was signed by British India uh, with the Nepal country. Option B. 83rd question. Which of the following statements best describes the term cryptojacking? So cryptojacking is a cyber attack wherein a computing device is hacked and controlled by the attacker and its resources are used to illicitly mine cryptocurrency. Option C is the answer. Next is 84th question. Which of the following events took place during the tenure of Warren Hastings, the first Governor General of Bengal? So Raja Chait Singh revolted against British, and Asiatic Society of Bengal was founded. First Rohilla War was started. Okay, the Vellore Mutiny took place under the Governor General of India, Hilaro Barlow. Okay, so only option B is the answer. 85th question. Which of the following is the correct regarding the Age of Consent Act of 1891? So the act forbade the marriage of girls below the age of 12. So option A. 86th question. With respect to the Indian states, arrange the following in chronological order of acceptance of subsidiary alliance system. So Scindia was under control of subsidiary alliance system in 1804. Holkar took place in 1818. Mysore was under it in 1799 and Awadh was under it in 1807. So the order is 3412, option D. 87th question. In the context of the British India's expansionist policy, arrange the following events in the chronological order starting from the earliest. So the Second Anglo-Afghan War took place in 1878. Annexation of Burma took place in 1885. Young husband expedition to Tibet took place in 1903. So the answer is option C. 88th question. With reference to the different perspectives about the formation of Indian National Congress in 1885, consider the following. So according to the safety valve theory, the Indian National Congress was formed by Evo Hume for releasing the growing discontent of the Indians, and Lala Lajpat Rai supported the safety valve theory and believed that the Indian National Congress was organized to serve as a safety valve theory. So option A is the answer. 89th question. Which of the following statements is or are correct regarding the Third Anglo-Maratha War? So the chief reason for this war was the British conflict with the Pindharis, and after the war Maratha Confederacy was dissolved and the Peshwaship was abolished. So option C is the answer. 90th question. The Indian Council Act of 1861 provided for the inclusion of the non-official members for legislative purpose, and no voting powers were given to the Central Legislative Council in the budget session, and it introduced the portfolio system. So option B is the answer. 91st question. Which of the following committees are the famine committees appointed by the British India? So it is Campbell Commission, MacDonnell Commission and Strachey Commission. All these are associated with the famine committees appointed by the British. 92nd, so option C is the answer. 92nd question. Which of the following reforms in civil services was or were carried out by the Lord Cornwallis? So forbidding private trade by the East India Company officials, promotions to be done based on the seniority, and foundation of Fort William College at Calcutta for training of civil servants was carried on during the Lord Cornwallis. So option B is the answer. 93rd question. With reference to the Kitchener-Curzon dispute, consider the following. So the dispute was related to the removal of the post of military members from Viceroy's Executive Council, and the dispute finally led to the resignation of the Curzon. So option A only is the answer. 94th question, with reference to the early 19th century administration of Punjab, the term Nazim and Kardar referred to. It referred to the provincial and district administrators. So option C is answer. 95th question, tribal revolt and associated leaders are given. So Santal rebellion took place under the leadership of Sidhu and Kanhu Murmu in 1885. So it took place in Bhagalpur and Rajmahal Hills. Ramosi uprising took place in 1822 under the leadership of Chittur Singh. Munda uprising took place in 1899 to 1900 under the leadership of Birsa Munda. Koyat revolt took place in 1879 under the leadership of Thammandura. So only two pairs are correct. Option B. 96th question. Who among the following established the Widow Remarriage Association in the year 1850? So it is Vishnu Shastri Pandit. Option A. 97th question. With reference to the Indian Social Conference, consider the following. So it was founded by M.G. Ranade and Raghunath Rao. Its first session was held in Madras in 1887 after the session of Indian National Congress. It launched the famous pledge movement to inspire people to take an oath to prohibit the child marriage. So option C is the answer. 98th question. India's first commercial space situational awareness observatory is being set up in the Uttarakhand. Option B. 99th question. Recently, the Central Bank of African country announced to start selling gold coins as a store of value to tame runaway inflation. So these gold coins, named as Mosi Oa Tunya, can be converted into cash and be traded locally and internationally. So it is in Zimbabwe. 100th question. He was an ethical entrepreneur who was dubbed in Merchant Prince by Mahatma Gandhi. In 1923, he took part in the flag satyagraha in Nagpur, defying a restriction on flying the national flag, and was imprisoned by the British forces. So further, as the president of Gandhi Seva Sangh and the chairman of All India Khaddar Board, he undertook an extensive Khadi tour of the entire country. So it is Jamnalal Bajaj. So option C is the answer.